Welcome back. With a deadline looming for votes in the House and Senate concerning the proposed nuclear deal with Iran, a pair of presidential candidates and other noted conservatives attended a rally against that agreement this afternoon on Capitol Hill. Miranda Khan has more from our Newsmax Prime newsroom. Miranda?
JD, large crowds joined presidential candidate Senator Ted Cruz and Donald Trump at the Stop the Iran Deal rally. Tea Party patriots organized that event. And as you might imagine, Cruz and Trump didn't shy away from sharing their thoughts on what they believe this deal means to Israel and the U.S.
Let me be clear. If you vote to send billions of dollars to jihadists who have pledged to murder Americans, then you bear direct responsibility for the murders carried out with the dollars you have given them. You cannot wash your hands of that blood.
They rip us off, they take our money, they make us look like fools, and now they're back to being who they really are.
Congress has until September 17th, that's a week from tomorrow, to pass a disapproval resolution of the Iran deal. But Cruz wants to push the clock on that 60-day review because he argues the Obama administration didn't hand over to Congress all the side deals made between Iran and the IAEA, something he says is a clear violation of federal law. JD, back to you.
Thanks, Miranda. For more on this, we welcome via telephone Brooke McGowan, Executive Director of Concerned Christians for America, and she joins us from Capitol Hill. Brooke, you attended that rally earlier today. Do you think the crowd and the speeches might change the minds of any Senate Democrats who right now say they're going to vote in favor of the deal?
You know, I don't know if they'll change the Senate Democrats or not. I feel like the Senate Democrats really are in the pocket already of this regime. 42 of them have decided that they're voting for this deal, and that is a national travesty. I hope that we send the message to those 42, no matter what ends up happening with this deal, that they are not allowed to come back to Washington when they come up for re-election.
Of course, Brooke, we heard a very passionate speech from Ted Cruz earlier today, and of course, Donald Trump was there and others. But it is worth noting the deal was already approved internationally, first in the UN. President Obama says he has enough votes now to override a possible veto. So when all is said and done, does today's rally, in retrospect, really accomplish anything?
I think it does, JD. We have to bear in mind that there is always hope. There is always hope. There is an opportunity that we can, like she mentioned, Miranda, about the possibility of making this turn into a treaty. It's not really a bill. It's actually a treaty already. Obama has not divulged everything to us. There are several side deals that have been hidden. The Intel Committee, senators on the Intel Committee can't even see the side deals. That is shocking. So if we can push it for a treaty, then of course we need the 67 votes, and things can slow down a little bit. We can, no deal is better than a bad deal. So we need to slow this down.
Brooke, you noted the concern about side deals and the details not being released to the Congress. But in terms of presidential politics, a lot of folks in the media are making much of a de facto side deal, it seems, between Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. There they were today. A word on their relationship. How does it strike you, having seen them share the podium today? What do you think really is afoot between, or is there any coordination between those two candidates?
You know, it's funny, JD. Everybody wants to put some sort of spin on that Donald and Ted Cruz might be working a side thing. They may be, cohorting for somebody to be the vice president on their ticket. Does it really matter? Because at this point, what these two men today did, they showed their love for America. They showed they have a conscience for America, and they care about us. They care about this country. I don't really care if they do have a side deal. I know that they're friendly with one another. I know that they are friends and they speak regularly. I think it's important to be friends with the leader of the polls, and that is Donald Trump. Ted Cruz is no dummy. So whether there's a deal on the side, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. At this point today, what this was about was saving the United States, saving Israel, and saving the world from a nuclear Iran.
And Brooke, as you mentioned, what is at stake here? In a sense, it has all the campaign maneuvering seem somewhat trivial, and yet you and I know that a lot of people are very interested in this. So I'm going to ask you for your perception of the event today. Of the speakers, and perhaps we can narrow it to the two presidential candidates, who received the better response in your opinion?
Donald Trump is he's a firebrand. So there was a lot of activity going on. Actually, I was standing right next to the illegal immigrants that had infiltrated, and they were shouting. So I missed the first 2 to 3 minutes of Donald Trump's speech. But they both were well welcomed. I can tell you, all through the crowd, people were wearing Courageous Conservative Cruz T-shirts. People were wearing Make America Great Again hats. People were wearing their Gadsden flags. This was not a day about who is your president. This was a day about stop the Iran deal. We've got to stop this deal, or we don't even have an election.
So illegals were there, other leftists were there trying to disrupt the event, but all in all, it came off the way conservative groups envisioned, correct? About 15 seconds.
Absolutely. It was wonderful. It was a great event. There was some disruption that I'm sure you'll see on the news later, but it didn't matter. We stood together, we stood in unity, and we stand against this Iran deal.
Brooke McGowan, via telephone from Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Brooke, we thank you for your time and your eyewitness account of what happened there this afternoon. Well, you heard what Brooke had to say. Certainly she's entitled to her opinion. We'd like to have yours. And here's how you can send us your comments. Go to newsmaxtv.com/comments. Very happy to hear from you, and you'll hear more from me right after this timeout.